Well, everyone, it's time for us to do our battery comparison test between the Samsung Galaxy S23, iPhone 14, Galaxy S22, Google Pixel 7, and the Google Pixel 6a all the way at the end. Now, I've been running this test for about 37 seconds now that you can see on the far right. Now, a few things. For one, these phones, the S23 is the newest phone, so this one should theoretically have the highest battery health. The Pixel, maybe the Galaxy S22 is the oldest phone here, so this battery health isn't at 100%. But they are all fairly much up to date on the most recent version of software as of now. They all have all of the applications closed out in the background, as you all can probably tell. On top of that, all of them are at their peak brightness. So I went through, they all have automatic brightness turned off. So as all of you can tell from here, all the peak brightnesses are at the very highest. So what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much just going to let them sit here for a bit of time, and I'm going to probably play a video in the background so they all don't time out in the display. And we're just going to go ahead and wait and see until one of these phones die. Now, if I have to estimate, I kind of want to see which one's going to die first. I'm probably going to say the Galaxy S22 is probably going to die first, probably followed by the iPhone 14, then the Pixel 7, then the Galaxy S23, and I have a feeling the Pixel 6a is going to be the longest lasting phone. I've seen this before, basically with the Pixel 6a outlasting a lot of different phones. So we're going to come back, we'll check back in about another hour or so, and we'll kind of see where the iPhones and the phones are at that point. So, well, everyone, we are about an hour in, and we're already at some pretty interesting numbers. So I wasn't already expecting these numbers to be this crazy, but with the Samsung Galaxy S23 right here, we are currently at about 94%. The iPhone 14, we are also at 94%, so currently the S23 and iPhone 14 are at the same. The Galaxy S22, crazy enough, is at 78%. This has only just been on the home screen for an hour, with the video playing in the background. So we're at 78% on the Galaxy S22. The Google Pixel 7 is at 94%, and the Pixel 6a is also at 94%. So almost all these phones are at the exact same battery life, except for the Galaxy S22 that is substantially less. Now, this is probably mostly due to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset that we've been talking about for a long period of time now. So I'm going to go ahead and just let them sit here again for another hour, just the exact same way they've already been doing it. I'm going to go ahead and kind of slide my finger across all of them so they don't time out. They shouldn't because they have the video in the background. We'll check back in another hour with just a video in the background. I think the Galaxy S22 will probably be at around 50%. So we'll check back in and see what happens. So we are now at the 2-hour mark, and I will definitely tell you things are becoming very, very interesting. So in the Samsung Galaxy S23 up here, we are at 87%. The iPhone 14 is at 84%. The Galaxy S22 is at 56%. Again, these are at the exact same thing, and this is at 56%. That is crazy to see how much better battery life we were getting on the Galaxy S22. They've just been on the main display for the last 2 hours, which is pretty insane. The Google Pixel 7 is at 84%, and the Pixel 6a all the way at the end is at 84%. So this is actually pretty insane stuff. I also had one of these thermal things here that kind of shows how hot a phone is. If I go and kind of scan, we can see that the Galaxy S23 is at 81.9. The iPhone 14 is at 86.4, which is hotter than the Galaxy S22. The Galaxy S22 is at 98.4, which is pretty high. I mean, that's much higher than these two phones. The Pixel 7 and the Pixel 6a all the way at the end is about 87. So far the Galaxy S22 is definitely doing the hottest, and that makes sense because it's also doing the poorest out of all of these. So we'll check back in about another hour. I am actually going to switch it up now. I'm going to play Temple Run 2 in the background of all these phones so they can kind of die out a little bit faster. So I'll go ahead and load up Temple Run 2, and we'll just kind of see how fast it takes them to kind of die out. Alright, so for the last hour, I've been having Temple Run 2 playing in the background. I'm going to close out of all of these specific Temple Run instances, and we're going to go ahead and see what the battery lives are. Now, starting off with the Galaxy S23, we're currently at 73%, 72% now, not that bad. iPhone 14, we are at 74% as well, so 2% higher than the S23. The Galaxy S22, we are at 26%. This phone is literally about to die. The Pixel 7 at the end, we are at 69%, and the Pixel 6a all the way at the end is at 73%. So the Pixel 6a now is doing better than the Galaxy S23, and is doing a little bit worse than the iPhone 14, but all in all, the iPhone 14 is doing the best out of all these devices. So we'll check back in about another hour. I'll do Temple Run 2 again, and we'll just kind of see where we're at. We are now at the 4-hour and 17-minute mark. The Samsung Galaxy S22 ended up dying at the 3-hour and 52-minute mark, which was pretty crazy. I thought this phone would last a little bit longer, so it looks like it can't handle Temple Run too well. And I've always known this phone's battery life wasn't going to be that great. I guess from the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, but I feel like I didn't know it was going to be that bad. Now, in terms of battery life, the S23 is currently at 51%, which is 50% now. Every time I come here, it goes down 50% right now. The iPhone 14 is at 60%. So you are getting better battery life on the iPhone 14 just from what I've tested so far than the Galaxy S23. The Pixel 7 right here is at 49%, so a little bit worse than the Galaxy S23, which isn't that bad. And then the Pixel 6a all the way at the end is at 57%. So the Pixel 6a is doing better than the Pixel 7. It's also doing better than the Galaxy S23, but it's doing a little bit worse than the iPhone 14, which is very, very interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and again, once more, I would load up a heavier intensive application, but in this case, I guess that's all we're kind of working with right now since there's kind of I was going to try Genshin Impact. I don't think it's going to work out too well. We're going to go ahead. I guess actually I could load up the camera application because the camera app, believe it or not, actually is a pretty intensive application as well. So I'm going to go ahead and load that up. I'll check back in about 20-30 minutes and see if it actually is a big application, but I guess we'll check back in and see where we're at. All right, everyone, we are now at the 6 hour and 1 minute mark. These phones have been playing Temple Run 2, so I did open up the camera last time. Unfortunately, the camera was kept closing on the Galaxy S23. For some reason, I have no idea why, so I had to boot up Temple Run 2 again. As of right now, we are currently at 18% on the Galaxy S23. I know it's kind of hard to tell over the camera. The iPhone 14 is currently at 40%, which is pretty crazy. The Pixel 7 is at 19%, and the Pixel 6a all the way to the end is at 35%. That's why I always kept looking at the Pixel 6a and kept bringing it in these comparisons, because some people would say, oh, Android phones are so much worse than iPhones. It really just depends on how well optimized an Android phone is. You can see the Pixel 6a all the way at the end is doing so well right now. It's keeping up pretty much with an iPhone 14. The Pixel 6a costs like half the cost of an iPhone 14. The Galaxy S23, the latest phone, is doing pretty bad, I'm not going to lie, but it's not doing as bad as the Galaxy S22. If we go and take a look at, so right now we're about, 94.8 degrees on the Galaxy S23. The iPhone 14 is actually about 84.6, so definitely a lot less than the Galaxy S23. The Pixel 7 all the way over here is about 90.7, and the Pixel 6a right now is about 91.2. So the Pixel 6a is probably doing the hottest right now. The iPhone 14 is doing the lowest. So we're still doing overall better, and I would say well more optimized on the iPhone 14 since it's not as hot as these other phones, and maybe I can't tell that difference, but we'll check back in about another hour or so and basically see where we're at. So believe it or not, the Samsung Galaxy S23 actually ended up dying, which is pretty crazy. The iPhone 14, the Pixel 7, and the Pixel 6a are still alive for the most part. The Pixel 7 I think is about to die. The iPhone 14 is actually at 28%, which is pretty wild. The Google Pixel 7 all the way over here is at 4%, so that one's about to die. And the Pixel 6a all the way at the end right here is at 23%. So just right there, I'm going to keep it going until basically the Pixel 7 dies, because at that point it's pretty much clear which one's going to be the clear winner there. But so far, some key things I want to note: the Galaxy S22 died at 3 hours and 52 minutes, like an hour or two on on-screen time, and then an hour or two of Temple Run. The Galaxy S23 ended up lasting a much longer period of time than the Galaxy S22 at 6 hours and 49 minutes. So I say that to say, you have to keep in mind that with a phone like the Galaxy S23, it is a pretty big difference coming from the Galaxy S22 from the battery life. Yeah, the battery life wasn't that much better, than the, Pixel 7, but, it was substantially worse than the iPhone 14 and the Pixel 6a, but the Galaxy S23 did outlast the Galaxy S22, which was its direct, I guess that was kind of more what I was looking for in this comparison. So we'll kind of let these ones go a little bit longer. But like I said, the Pixel 7, once that ends, we'll kind of have a good idea. These ones were just not going to die. So we'll check back in whenever the Pixel 7 dies and we'll go from there. So we are now at the finale. The Google Pixel 7 just ended up dying, basically about 30 seconds ago. All the other phones pretty much died too, except for the iPhone 14, I just hit the camera, and the Google Pixel 6a. So the 6a is currently at 18%. I know it's kind of hard to tell over the camera, but the iPhone 14 is currently at 24%. So here are some of the findings that I've basically found. And at this point, I'm going to kind of end the comparison. I think it's quite clear. The iPhone 14 is actually probably going to be the one that's going to be more optimized for the better battery life than at least the other phones that are on this table. The Pixel 6a, I knew it was going to come in second or third, but the Pixel 6a is just having a pretty decent battery life from everything that I've tested. The Pixel 7 did better than I thought, to be honest. I thought it was going to be pretty much on par with the Galaxy S23, but I thought it was going to come behind it. Surprisingly, the Galaxy S23 did not do as good as I thought, which is honestly kind of concerning a little bit. It did do way better than the Galaxy S21, which isn't saying too much, or the S22, but I guess the iPhone 14 is a winner here. I thought the Pixel 7 was going to outlast. To be honest, this is how I was thinking it was going to go. I thought it was going to go the Pixel 6a, iPhone 14, Pixel 7, Galaxy S23, and Galaxy S22. It ended up being the iPhone 14, Pixel 6a, Pixel 7, Galaxy S23, and then the Galaxy S22. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this video. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.